of the dark and they moving like zombies.
Alright, so the series is finally here where we compare two builds and decide which one's better and what aspects make this build this and who's gonna win in a 1v1. Alright, but real quick before we go any further, like the video. Also, the giveaway, again, I extended it to July 6th. Y'all help me hit 20k subs by July 6th, the very next day after that. So July 7th, I will have a stream where I give 6 $20 gift cards to the first 6 people to comment in my stream. So you have to have post notifications on for that, alright? So we're gonna compare a paint beast, the most common paint beast I'm finding on YouTube, which is a 6'9" center paint beast, versus a glass lock, like a typical 7-foot shooting and defending glass lock. All right, so I'm gonna make the builds for you real quick, and then I'm gonna put the side-by-side comparisons between the stats, the badges, and all that. All right, so let's get into the paint beast real quick. You want to go center position, you gotta go with the right number. Now this one, typically it's made with this, so I'm making the most popular paint beast. You can probably tweak it, make it a little better, but I'm gonna give you like the general paint beast I'm finding. All right, so here, max that out, and this is gonna go up to 55 shooting. Some max out their shooting. I'll put this one up to 6. I'm gonna max out right here. The last attributes go on your perimeter defense. All right, so we got 19, 6, 1, and 25. Next, whatever build style, this one goes down to 6'9". All right, there are 7-foot paint beasts. 7-foot, 7'3" paint beasts. I just don't know how to make it. All right, so we're gonna compare the 6'9" paint beast since there was no specification on the post. Here we're gonna leave it neutral. We're gonna max out the wingspan. So I flew through this build, but you're gonna see that it's a paint beast, and I'm gonna bring it back and show you the side-by-side comparisons with the glass lock I'm about to make. All right, so this is how I made this build. I'm gonna make for you the typical glass lock. So center, choose whatever hand. You gotta make sure you got the right number on. We're gonna go with 33 this time, coach. Now glass lock, shooting and defending. I didn't know if y'all wanted the pure defensive, so I'm gonna give you the most typical glass lock you see on the park, which is this one. Here, you wanna go with the balanced pie chart. So your typical glass lock, they usually put these up right here, this, post, hook, and then we're gonna put this up until we hit 13 finishing, all right? Just cause people know this, your driving dunk as a center is not gonna be that high anyway. So from a 50 to a 60 is not gonna be a big difference. Now, we're gonna max these out. Glass locks that like the ISO usually have a post fade on them, alright? So, we're gonna leave it right here. No playmaking. Interior, a lot of centers don't have perimeter defense. Put these up. And we max out all of our attributes. So we got 13 finishing, 13 shooting, and 21 defensive. This is a solid glass lock build. Next, whatever body style. If I were to make a glass lock, I'm going 6'10", but there's some that are 6'11", 7 foot, 7'1", maybe even 7'2" to 7'3", but usually I would say they're roughly about 7 foot. Weight, go up, maybe like a good 264. Wingspan, they usually max it out. And then rim or glass takeover, glass clean and lockdown. So we're gonna compare these two builds, and I'll be right back with you in a second. Now, before we get into any comparisons, just know that these are personal opinions, all right? So you can have your own opinion, just debate it in the comments. No need to dislike or hate. You got one of these builds, or you got the other build, it's fine. But let's get into it. So obviously, you can see the glass lock, 7-foot shooting glass lock on the left side, and the 6'9" paint beast on the right side. Now, this layout, it took me a little minute to put together to make it look nice, all right? But just looking at the finishing, who looks more dominant? And it's obvious, it's clearly the paint beast. The paint beast is like a giant slasher who is super athletic. Now, what does the glass lock have going for it? It got a post hook. You can abuse a 70 post hook, but I wouldn't bet on that post hook more than I'm betting on that 91 driving dunk at 99 for the paint beast. Like this paint beast playing like a slasher in the right hands, it can destroy a pure defender, believe it or not. this glass lock is going to struggle. It's not made to force buckets on people or get a bucket one-on-one all the time. It's a more versatile, well-rounded center that is defensive dominant. Alright, so in terms of finishing, the Paint Beast is clearly better. Even though that the Paint Beast is one-dimensional in terms of finishing, it's just hard to stop in 2K20. Now for the shooting, obviously, the glass lock is more versatile. It's made to spread the court. It's made to open up the offense a little bit. So that's why it's a good spot-up build. It has a decent 3, a good midi. Now your Paint Beast, you got to be a good shooter. You have to have somebody running dimer and floor general for you with some shooting boost for you to pop from the midi. But it's possible, but it's not made to do that. It's more of a slasher and defender build, obviously. So the glass lock is a better shooter. Playmaking, I'm not going to factor this in because neither one has playmaking. In terms of defense, the interior, they both got good interior defensive ratings. These are ratings that you can get stops so consistently with. Who's stopping the centers? Those 7-3 interior forces or interior finishers? Probably the glass gonna lock down more than the Paint Beast, but even then. And moving on to the perimeter defense, I don't want to spend too much time on the interior defense. The glass lock, it can play defense on guards, but it has no perimeter defensive rating. A lot of them don't. I made it like a lot of you people do. And what that is if it has to play defense on a guard, that contest on the perimeter, if the guard shooting a 3-point shot, good luck, because it's not going to matter as much as the Paint Beast that has that stat, even with Hall of Fame Intimidator. Going to the lateral, a 68, which will turn into a 72 lateral compared to a mid 50 lateral quickness of the glass lock. It's not going to guard a guard. If you put a glass cleaning lock on somebody that knows how to dribble or get an ISO, the ISO player will cook a glass lock. Now trying to ISO a Paint Beast, now that's a whole nother story. I played with one. I played against one on every one of my builds. The Paint Beast, this defensive and finishing pie chart is so hard to score on. You can do it, but it's hard. The steals, they ain't got no steal rating. The block, who's probably gonna get more blocks? I would put my money on the Paint Beasts because those smaller defenders that are around like 6'9", 6'8", sometimes 6'10", get way better block animations, no matter if they have the same badge level on. In terms of rebounding, it's whoever has a box out. Obviously, the Paint Beast has a higher offensive rebound, but whoever has a box out is gonna get that board. Now, which one's more versatile, more well-rounded? The glass cleaning lockdown. But let's get into the next subject, which is going to lead into the 1v1 topic, the 2v2s and the 3v3s. Which one's more dominant, which one do I prefer to have, and which one's overall better. Now moving into the 1v1 portion. 1v1, what are you talking about? If it's a 1v1 between the glass lock, the shooting glass lock, and the Paint Beast, who is winning? Let's say we put the best people at each build. The best glass lock versus the best person to handle a slasher. Who's winning? If it's a best of 5 series, I'm giving it to the Paint Beast. The way 2K20 is set up, the slashing in this game is so OP. Like, I know the glass lock has a post fade, it has a post hook, but these, I'm telling you, these defensive and finishing pie charts are just insane with the defense. Best of 5, I say it's a 3-2. Paint Beast is taking it. Now, if it's a 1v1 versus other people, I'd say if the Paint Beasts don't really give up the ball, it's destroying everybody. Any build going against this Paint Beast, it's done for. A guard, definitely a guard is getting toasted if they give up the ball to the Paint Beast. It's over with. Now, for the shooting glass lock, if it goes against, it's going to have its tough games. It's going to have this game that's going to lose. They're just going to be builds that it just can't guard or it just can't score on. Even though it's more versatile, it can shoot. It's just not OP in one specific category to consistently destroy good players, good comp players. Moving on to the 2v2 portion. Now the 2v2 is not necessarily a battle against each other, because that's the 1v1 category. That's what that's for. Now the 2v2, how would you have to play? What would your play style be if you're playing with a glass lock versus Paint Beast on your team? Now the Paint Beast would have to be a super good finisher and just know what he's doing with the build, and you would be like a spot up shooter, like a spot up defender, that's how that lineup would work. Now if you're gonna use a paint beast and have another like guard that's ball dominant, that guard better be a left right demon on the 3 around screen, so you can run the pick and roll. But that's the only place that paint beast can go, is pick and roll. 90% of the time you could pop out, hit a 3, not a 3, mid-range, but you either have to have a left right demon on your team, or you better be isoing with your paint beast and have a spot up defensive player. That's the only way. That's only 2 lineups you can do. Now with the shooting glass lock, you could run really anything with it. You could run another 2-way sharp that's good at left riding. You could run a 2-way slash and play, a play shot. You can pick and roll. You can pick and pop. If the guard switches onto your glass lock, the glass lock could bully him. The glass lock could post fade. It spread the court. If you're ISOing, you could be a left right demon and use a glass lock on your team. You can take it to the bucket. You're not only limited to the 3. It's just having a glass lock on your team versus a paint beast. It just gives you way more options, whether you're the glass lock or you're the guard. So in the 2v2 area, I'm giving my money to the glass lock. It's just way too versatile, and you can just run it with any lineup. Any lineup, as long as you don't got another center on your team. Now for the 3s, would I want a paint beast on my team? If I have a defender, spot up defender on my team that sits in the corner, and I'm a ball dominant guard that just left rights like a little play shot on the 3-point line, yeah, I could have a paint beast on my team. But would I want one? Probably not. The only reason why that works on the 2s is because it's make it taken on the 2s. On the 3s, it's back and forth. And if it's back and forth, 2s aren't going to beat 3s. In a comp setting, they will give that paint beast every 2 he can take, rather than giving up that 3-point shot. So it's more valuable to have a player that could spread your offense, so your guard could ISO, run around screens, do whatever. It just leaves the paint open, and then you got defense on the other end. So any comp player would rather have a glass lock, a shooting glass lock, rather than an inside paint beast on their team. So now it all comes down to this. So I said all that to say this: which one's more dominant? The paint beast. But which one's more versatile, and which one would I prefer to play with and actually have on my team? Probably the glass lock. Now you can make the paint beast, like I said, if you have a good guard on your team, and if you're just going to be playing 1s, or if you're just good at ISOing with the build. Now if you're going to make one build for the rest of the year and you can only play on this build, and it has to run with every lineup from 1s, 2s, 3s, reg, pro-am, I'm making the glass lock. So which one's overall better and worth your money? If you don't play 1s, probably the glass lock. But hopefully you liked the video. Sorry, I'm not like as enthusiastic today. I just don't feel good, honestly. But I really wanted to get this video out there for you. Debate in the comments about anything I said, or versus anybody in the comments. So like the video, make sure you sub with post notifications. Let's hit 20K. Give me suggestions. I'm gonna go through the other suggestions on the post. Next time, be more specific. But I appreciate y'all, and until next time, I'm out.